Hi everybody, just doing this as a recording to try and guide you through the lesson in case you can't make the live lesson versions of this. So basically follow along with this and I'll be telling you when to pause and then you can complete the work. By listening to this, I'm hopeful you'll get the same or a very similar experience to what you would have had in the live lesson with me. So with that in mind, task number 1, do remember to write task number 1 and 2 and so forth on your page so it makes it easier to understand your work. You're going to take 5 minutes and I'm just really interested in you bullet pointing down quickly a few things which are irritating to you. Are there any really trivial things? The word trivial means really small and unimportant, but they still matter to you and irritate you. Here are a few that might get you going. For me, I just don't get avocado. I mean, what is that about? It's nothingness. I mean, I'm not a fan. It's just there. And then you've got wasps. What are they about? The idea of jam going on top of a cream, on top of a scone. I mean, it just fills me with disgust and dread. It's the Devon way, not the Cornwall way. And the guy on the phone there, and when people do that, that really gets on my nerves. I mean, the phone is designed to be able to be put to your ear so you can hear it more clearly rather than trying to talk like that. And then what are you doing? You can still look around even with it to your ear. But those are the things that irritate me. So a quick bullet point list, have a think. You'll need this for later, you see, so it's important to have a go at this activity. I'm going to get quiet for 5 seconds. Have a go at that for me now, please. Pause this video. Right, well there we go. That's task number 1 done. Let us move on then. There is a title for you. Put that in today's date. Exploring methods that can help express a viewpoint. Feel free to pause this slide if you need to, or else I'm going to move on. Okay. And we move on to this. Right, some unfamiliar vocabulary coming up in these articles. This refers to the articles which you have been posted home. So therefore you have a copy of this to get hold of before you read it later. In the meantime, for task number 2, could you write down the definitions for these words, please? They are admirable, evocative, nostalgia, poignant, and beset. So pause this video now and spend 5 minutes looking up and writing down those words, please. Right then, there we go. Admirable, of course, meaning something you admire and look up to. Evocative comes from the word to evoke. It's something that makes you think of something. If something's very evocative, it creates strong memories or feelings. Nostalgia is a feeling of looking back at things and things almost being better in the past. Poignant, very important to you, stands out. And then beset, to be beset with something is almost to be filled with, plagued with, like you describe something that was beset with problems. Almost it's something that comes with it. So those are those words. Now, today's writer, I'm going to introduce him to you before we pause. You might recognise him. That is David Mitchell, and there's a link there which we're going to watch in the live lesson, just giving you a flavour of the sort of man he is before you read his article. But what I'd also like to do is pause this video now and decide what you're going to copy down the definition of hyperbole. In the live lesson, I'd pose it as a question and say, so what is it? Can you remember? And the answer is in the green box. So you're going to pause this slide, have a quick watch. So you haven't got to watch the video all the way through because it's quite long. We're going to watch a bit. And you need to write down the definition of hyperbole from that green box, please. So pause now. Right then, and we move on. Now this bit is going to be another pause for you, but because you've got the article with you this time, it's really important you grab a highlighter or something where you can identify anything which leaps out at you about this article. Particularly what you're looking for here, though, is any places where he conveys a viewpoint. And his viewpoint is his idea, his feeling, his opinion. Those are the things you're looking out for when we study language paper 2, and that's what this is. So we're preparing and practicing is what I was going to try and say all in one there. Preparing and practicing for that. So you're going to need to get your highlighter, pausing this video and having a read through that article for me now, please. Right, and we move on. And we move on to this, which are my reflection questions. Nice and quick. This is a 10-minute job, please. And make sure you do good detailed answers. For number 1, I want you to summarise what he thinks about scented candles. Really, we're looking for more than 1 sentence there. It's 2, because it's a long old article. Number 2, retrieve. So find me 3 methods you spotted him using, please. And for number 3, copy out an example of hyperbole. Now you've written down the definition of it a minute ago. And number 4, explaining why was that hyperbole effective at conveying his viewpoint? What effect does it have, his use of hyperbole that you've picked out there? And okay, so you're going to need to pause this video and give that 10 minutes, please. Over to you. Okie dokie. And we move on to the final task, which is something a bit different. So instead of doing an exam question, as we've done quite a few times in recent lessons, instead it's your turn, as I've said in that yellow box. You are going to adopt Mitchell's style and use some hyperbole to convey your viewpoint on a topic. As it says in the blue box, before I reveal any more, you're going to take 25 minutes on this, so it's a decent length of time, and I'm looking for your 3 paragraphs on this. Right, so on the blue box, I'm going to give you an example of what I mean, and on the green box there is the structure to follow. What you are doing is writing about, and when it says your viewpoint on a topic in the yellow box, the topic is going to be one of those things you wrote down that irritates you. If you can't do one of those, then you need to do one of the ones that I put up as a picture, but really it's even better if you can choose something. Paragraph 1, introduce your irritation to me. Paragraph 2, you're going to start describing it a bit more detail, setting the scene, just why does it irritate you so much? And then paragraph 3, why it irritates you and why everyone else reading this should feel the same as you. So there's a 1, 2, 3 structure there to follow. Now on the left hand side, I've just given you something you can copy or adapt just to get you going. And I'll just read through it quickly. Now, you may not have given this too much thought over the years. Let's face it, why would you? But this is an issue which needs addressing, needs sorting out and eradicating. What am I referring to? Why? Insert the name of whatever it is that's irritating you. Of course, yes. So if I was doing, I don't know, wasps, what am I referring to? Why? Wasps. Those flying devils who serve no better purpose in summertime other than to ruin a good picnic, attack us for no good reason, and scare our children half to death. Yes, wasps have been around for thousands of years, and I'm sure they serve very good purposes. However, and you can see what you're doing here is really trying to express opinions, but not just, I don't like wasps, wasps are scary, they sting you. You need to develop a little bit more around the basics of it. So anyway, you don't need to pause this video because I'm going to end it there. That's what we're going to be doing in the live lesson. I presume you've watched this because you're unable to join us, in which case I hope it was useful. Obviously email if there's any problems and questions, and all of the bits you need, like these slides are on Show My Homework. Other than that, thanks very much, and I look forward to reading your irritations. Goodbye.